A small red arrow for me so far in Game Week 20. I've slipped just outside the top 100k and I'm on 52 points. But I've got triple Nottingham Forest still to go. And I know there's still that game to go. But I thought it would be worth still taking you through my transfer plans. Quick look then at the team as it got on so far. I'm not going to talk about the Forest players. So we've had Hall. Oh, no, so they're all the way around. Hall and Robinson play so far. Both players unfortunately didn't keep clean sheets. I guess with Fulham, I was never really expecting Robinson to absolutely haul in the clean sheets, but I did think I'd get something in that Ipswich fixture. And to be honest, I feel like I got lucky that he didn't score an own goal for that first Ipswich goal. I'm pretty sure he was up with Ben Johnson for a header and headed the ball onto his own crossbar. So I think I was quite lucky not to get an own goal from him. Obviously, Lewis Hall with a blank. It is what it is. I think for future game weeks, he's going to be all right. But yeah, just got to take that blank on the chin, I suppose. I had to start dibbling this week over Rodgers, purely because I just couldn't see myself selling Rodgers. It just felt crazy to do that. And yeah, I just started dibbling off the back of a goal in, I think it was Crystal Palace he played in Game Week 19, wasn't it? I was quietly confident he might show up and do something. It wasn't the case. A 2-pointer. It is what it is. Cole Palmer with a goal. Semenyo with obviously a clean sheet in his game. And Salah scoring his penalty against Man United. I actually don't think he had all that good of a game against Man United. He always seems to just come away with a return, doesn't he, no matter what. So there was no doubt that I would captain anyone else going into that Man United at home fixture. Man United at Anfield, with the form that Man United were in for Liverpool, there was just no way I was going to put the armband on anyone else. So it was Salah. He scored. I'll take it. Haaland up front. I think my justification, my reason for keeping him, or my decision to keep him, is not completely justified yet, but it's looking like not an absolutely terrible decision. I'm very happy with his brace. He seems to have found a little bit of form again, as Haaland. Seems to be smiling, a bit happier on the pitch. I'm quietly confident to have him in my team for the next couple of fixtures. Another goal for Isak, but unfortunately a yellow card for complaining that he didn't want to get subbed off or something. It was a bit of a crazy one. Yeah, it is what it is. And then I've still got Wood, Sells and Aina to play against Wolves. If you're watching this video after the Wolves game and they've done terribly, so be it. But I'm quietly confident, and I would say regardless of the outcome of that game, I think saying that without Cunha for Wolves, Nottingham Forest, who are the third best defence in the league this season, have been absolutely mega. They've got a reasonable chance of keeping a clean sheet in that one. And Chris Wood as well has a reasonable chance of scoring. So like I said, I'm 107k overall on 52 points. But I don't think many players have double Nottingham Forest defence and Chris Wood. So I'm quietly confident those three can produce something for me against Wolves, get me some points and bring me back into the top 100k. All right, looking ahead then, like I said, Nottingham Forest have not played at the time of recording this video, but I think I'm kind of stuck having to start Sells against Liverpool. Although stranger things have happened than Nottingham Forest keeping a clean sheet at home against Liverpool. They obviously won the reverse fixture 1-0 at Anfield and kept a clean sheet. So, could happen. I benched Aina because double Nottingham Forest defence against Liverpool feels like a bit too much. And, well, I've got Colwell there who's got Bournemouth, which I think is a fixture worth starting him in. And yeah, Chris Wood, I'm still happy to start him against Liverpool. I think that's not too bad of a decision. And you can see that I've got Aina, Greaves and Dibbling on my bench. Again, I don't think it's worth... I can't start Greaves or Dibbling over Chris Wood, I don't think. So that's probably going to be my starting 11 if I don't make any transfers. In terms of transfers I could potentially make, there's one defender. Bearing in mind, I've got 2 frees, but nothing in the bank. I've used all my cash to buy Chris Wood last week. Chris Wood and Lewis Hall last week. One defender I'm looking at, and I've got a way I could free up the funds to get him, is Munoz of Crystal Palace. I think he could be a nice replacement for Colwell, just looking at his attacking upside. I mean, owners of Munoz can count themselves really unlucky that he hasn't got any attacking returns in the last 3 or 4 game weeks. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's had either a really good chance or something cleared off the line every game for the last 3 or 4 weeks. So he could be a decent replacement there for Colwell, but you can see I don't quite have enough in the bank. And I also go to some clean sheet odds as well, just determining who I should play. Obviously, Munoz carries a lot more attacking threat than Colwell does. But I look at the clean sheet odds from 11ify here. Chelsea at 27% against Bournemouth. I know Crystal Palace have got Leicester away. I think the clean sheet odds, in my mind, are also quite similar for both teams. I do know Crystal Palace have turned things up a little bit defensively, but I feel like, particularly at home, Leicester could score in that one. So I'd be swapping Munoz in purely for his attacking returns. So I'm just not sure. I'm just not that sure that's worth using one of my transfers on. So for that reason, I'm probably going to stick with Colwill, but it all depends on the other move I make. And I'm looking at Semenyo there, right? I'm looking at Semenyo and Rodgers, to be fair, but Semenyo in the main. Yes, I'm very glad I've stayed patient with him, and he's scored me reasonable points in recent fixtures. I think we got 2 attacking returns from him in the last 4 and a clean sheet. But he's obviously got that Chelsea fixture, and then he plays Newcastle at St James's Park, and then he's got Nottingham Forest. I think that's quite a tough run of 3 fixtures, to be completely honest with you. And we'll just go to the screen I wanted to show. A potential replacement or a potential player I could bring in for him is Ahmad. Now, I'm being a little bit biased because he played well against Liverpool, but he's got Southampton at home next, then Brighton, Fulham, Crystal Palace and Tottenham. The next 5 fixtures for Man United look really good, and downgrading Semenyo for Ahmad would give me the perfect amount of cash to upgrade Colwill to Munoz. And I can't possibly do those moves before the cup fixtures of the weekend. So hopefully the price changes are kind to me. But if I get round to Game Week 21 deadline and those moves are possible with the money I have, it's going to be hard to resist it, because as good as Semenyo has been, and as like, if he didn't have those tough fixtures and had like decent fixtures, I'd say keep him. But those fixtures do really turn me off for the next 3. Even Rodgers doesn't have the best. You know, Everton away and Arsenal away in the next 2 don't look great. But I think Rodgers has just been so reliable, even in the big games. I'd keep him. But yeah, Semenyo's the one I'd worry about. It's really annoying that I can't get to either of these 2 either, Gordon and Mbeumo. I was saying in previous videos that I think there's a real lack of like mid-price midfielders that are performing in the league at the moment. But that's just simply not true anymore. I think Gordon and Mbeumo are both proving themselves to be strong options in FPL. Gordon in particular, looking at the next 3 fixtures, Wolves, Bournemouth both at home and then Southampton away. That's 3 really good fixtures for Newcastle. And then Mbeumo's got tougher fixtures, but he's been arguably better goal scoring form. He's put up more XG and he's obviously on penalties as well. But yeah, looking at this midfield, I just can't get to them. So they're options I'm really excited by, but unfortunately I'm just not going to be able to bring them in. What I did want to talk about, in addition to who I could bring in, is who am I going to captain? So I'm looking at the fixtures, right? Salah with Nottingham Forest away. I'll just go back to my team now. These are the expected points, courtesy of Fantasy Football Hub and FPL Review, just to give you a view. But I'm going to go back to my team to talk through it. You can see I've got the armband on Haaland at the moment. I'm looking at Nottingham Forest away for Liverpool. And whilst I'm not confident in starting double Forest defence, I think that's a reasonable thing to do. I do think Liverpool are going to have a tough time in that game. I think Forest away is one of the few fixtures I would consider to be a genuine red one, along with Liverpool away and Arsenal away. I think Forest, Liverpool and Arsenal are the three fixtures I'd consider to be red at the moment, particularly for attacking assets coming up against their defences. So I do think as a week you could go different. And obviously I'm looking at Palmer, I'm looking at Isak, and I'm looking at Haaland. I'm looking at Palmer with Bournemouth away. I think Bournemouth are actually pretty good defensively. They've got some really good individual players in their defence, and I think are performing quite well defensively. Isak's got Wolves at home. Obviously, Wolves are one of the bottom teams in the league at the moment. That's a great fixture, and obviously Isak's in great form. But then Haaland is less owned at the moment than Isak is, and he's got Brentford away. For me, the captaincy is between Haaland and Isak, and I think as a Haaland owner, I don't know if it's sunken cost fallacy making me think he's the best captain or not, but I do believe he's a really decent captaincy shout. And I think if I've held him this long, and ultimately he's probably got 2 or 3 weeks left in my team, maybe, depending on how the demographic of the game goes as to whether Man City improve over the next few. He might only have limited time left in my team, just as the fixtures, they do get more difficult over the next few for Man City. Could I captain him in Game Week 21? That's what I'm thinking. Right now, the armband is actually on him, but we've got a long time until the deadline. Next Tuesday it is. So plenty of time to think, but I'm certainly considering giving him the armband. In terms of transfers, like I said, could potentially be Munoz in for Colwill and Ahmad in for Semenyo, but I've only got 2 free transfers, and that would mean just completely wiping out all my transfers to do that. And ultimately, these 2 assets are not terrible. Yeah, I'm thinking that over. So that could be potentially my 2 moves with Haaland as my captain. All right, well, that's the end of the video. A quick little ramble there about what I'm looking at doing with my team ahead of Game Week 21. I'm well aware there's there's a game still to go in Game Week 20, and the Game Week 21 deadline is after some FA Cup games. So there's a lot to happen until then. But quite honestly, I'm away with work for most of next week. I'm recording this on Sunday night, and I wanted to give you guys some Monday afternoon, evening FPL content before I went away. So that's why this video is being recorded now, and I'm still doing it. I think, this might help you, and it might also just scratch an itch of FPL content, but also help you get an idea of my thought process behind players I'm looking to get out. So, yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please leave me a like rating. Let me know in the comments what you would do with this team. I think the Munoz and Ahmad move is a good one. It's just whether it's really worth using the two transfers, because they're a little bit luxury, those moves. But I think Munoz is better than Colwill, and Ahmad is probably better than Semenyo. Anyway, if you haven't already, and you want to stick around and see more content from me, you can subscribe to the Golden Goal channel, which should be just there on your screen. That just leaves me to say thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video.